Shalom, and welcome back to Bnei Noach Academy, Thoughts on the Torah. Please remember to hit the like button, to subscribe, and most importantly, to share this insight and inspiration with friends and family. When you look in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 22, Aser to Aser, which literally translates, tithe, you shall tithe, which really could be said is just for emphasis. Perhaps, if you remember, if you're old enough, the old typewriters, when you wanted to highlight something, you wanted to make some letters appear in bold, what would you do? You'd go back and retype over the same typing, over the same fonts. And by doubling or tripling the ink, that would make it stronger and stand out. That would emphasize it. You see, this is very important because if we all know, the Torah does not have any extra words, not even any extra letters, not even any extra innuendo. And here the Torah says an entirely extra word. So on the surface, it seems the Torah is just trying to emphasize. It wants to tell us how serious this is. God says you should surely tithe from everything. In this case over here, it's talking about particularly about the harvest, the crops, but this applies to all areas of one's earnings, especially to one's salary, to one's profits. But there's a deeper message here, and actually a very, very pleasant and enjoyable one, a very encouraging one. You see, when you look into a Torah scroll, an actual kosher Torah scroll, the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, they are written with absolutely no vowels whatsoever. Now, there is a Hebrew letter that has a very interesting, unique quality. It's the same letter, but the letter could be a shin, which would be SH in English, or it could be a sin, which is an S. When it has a dot over the right top of the letter, then it's a shin. I always jokingly say, remember, she is always right. All married men will understand what I'm saying. So when it's on the right top of the letter, it's a shin. When it's on the left top of the letter, the left side of the letter, then it's a sin. Well, in a prayer book or in a printed Torah, yes, you will have either the right side noted or the left side. You know it's a shin or a sin. And in the case of the Torah, which I just read from before, it's a sin. Aser te aser. The word aser comes from eser. Eser means 10. Aser means you should take a tenth, a tithe. That's aser te aser. You shall certainly tithe. However, the sages tell us something phenomenal. What the Torah is really telling us and hinting to us is aser te asher. Notice the second word. I didn't say to aser, I said to asher. The word osher means riches, prosperity, success. God is telling us, aser, tithe, in order for you to te asher, to become rich, to become successful. Imagine, you pay your taxes. What is your real true motivator to pay your taxes? Because if you don't pay your taxes, God forbid, you can get into trouble. They'll garnish your pay, they will give you fines, and God forbid, you can sit in jail. But no one has ever received a thank you note from the IRS or from someone up there, high up there in the higher echelons of Uncle Sam. Thank you so much. We appreciate your taxes. Now you're going to see more prosperity. It doesn't happen. You're just lucky that if you pay your taxes, you're not going to have to later spend and waste your money on lawyers and aggravation. That's about it. Or fines. But here God says, I want you to give this. I want you to, quote, pay your dues here. Let's call it a tax. It's a tithe, but it's kind of a tax. It's a divine tax. But God says, look, I'm not sending the IRS after you. I don't have that system built in. This is an honor system. You have free choice. I trust that you will give it. However, I do know your nature because I made you. I do know the nature of man. And it is such that once the money is in your hands, once the money is in your possession, in your account, it's difficult to part with it, even though it's not really yours, but it's just something that a human being has. This is just a little problem, a little shortcoming we have. And since it's not so easy for you and you have to push yourself to do it, it's not so convenient and comfortable. Therefore, I'm going to reward you. If you go ahead and you do it, aser, you give your tithes, te'asher, I am going to thank you by making you even more rich. Now to my second point. I know some can argue, Rabbi, I am in a fixed income, or I have a fixed salary. I don't work on commissions. I am not looking for another job. So what do you mean by becoming richer, by becoming more prosperous? Here's a practical answer. And look into your life, look around, and you'll see it happens all the time. It's not only about how much you earn. It's not only about how much you make, how much comes into your account. It's really more about how you spend that money. Think about it. God forbid, when the money is not blessed, and suddenly you're spending on a flat tire, on a broken this, on a non-functioning this, and things that you need. Your phone falls and breaks. You need a phone. Who can live without a phone today? Who cannot have proper tires with proper tread on the car? It's dangerous. Your brakes go on you. This goes on you. That goes on you. Suddenly you find yourself throwing money out the door that otherwise should have been yours and been used for happy and joyous things. That's riches. So it's not just about becoming the millionaire. That's not how we measure success necessarily. We measure by whatever Hashem did give you, whatever you did earn, that you should use it happily and joyfully. And that I wish to you, that you should always have that aser to asher. You should always easily give that tithe and always get the reward in both senses. First of all, that the money should be blessed. It should be used for good things. And also in the literal, that you should have more and more plentiful so you can do more good for yourself and, of course, for others.